All right, we're on. So I am officially saying good morning to you
Good
again.
morning.
And as always, it's good to see everyone, see your faces, going through the weekend, not having that capability of sometimes communicating, but not necessarily communicating face to face. I know with Nancy, she and I kind of stay in touch all the time for various reasons, whether it's pertaining to class or just things in general that we're discussing. But it's always good to have a face in front of me. So here's time for our wow.
Ooh.
And Mary, she pulled that piece of paper. She's ready. So my wow for today or this week is the word inspiration. And I chose that word because someone asked me, a friend of mine that lives in Florida, asked me to send her a poem that I had written well, it's back in 2013, but it had the words inspiration in it. And I decided that was a good word to use. So, according to the dictionary, inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something. And I think that's a fantastic word for us now because the worst thing is to allow yourself to get into a pit. And that pit can be utter despair or it could just be a momentary thing. But when you find that you are being challenged to be in an upbeat frame of mind, you have to find something that will inspire you. And what has happened to me, I was cleaning up my bookshelf and I found a journal that was given to me as a gift years ago. And I started journaling again. But the neat thing about the journaling part is there are passages that I had written years ago and I stopped. But what was interesting is going back and reading things like on this day, 10 years ago. My book's not that old, but for instance, these are where my thoughts were. This is what was going on with me. This is what I was feeling. And I really understand when they talk about what journaling can do for you, because if you follow it, you can always reflect on what your mental state was at that, or whether it was a sad day or above happy day. So that has inspired me to go back and I made a commitment that I will definitely journal. I won't commit to doing it every day of that type. Excuse me a minute. But I will definitely trying to get somebody that's having a problem getting in. But I will definitely do it at least once a week. I've also experienced and learned that you don't want to make commitments that you can't keep. Because if you do this, then you feel like you haven't achieved anything, or it starts to reflect on you in a different way. So I try to do commitments that I know that I can handle. So I don't think once a week is such a big deal. So that's inspiration. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to help someone here. Okay, all right, we're good. All right, so does anyone have anything about a word they want to share or something that has inspired you? Yes, no?
I wanted to share something with you that I just read it yesterday and I thought this was be interesting. When you say you don't want to commit something, right? But here this one says from Aristotle, for the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. And I thought that was what I'm doing now.
That's great. That's great. Whatever it takes is what you look at. And thank you for sharing that, Linda.
Yeah.
I still keep Linda gave me 5 rules to live a happier life. I keep this all the time. And I think it's a fantastic thing to share. But if you follow these 5 rules, I feel that you will have a very peaceful life. But I just try to emphasize the importance of this now because I know we're all going through different emotions and so much happening. But it's just important that we reach out and stay in contact with each other, because while you may be in a happy state today, you can take that happiness and pass it on to somebody else who may not be in that state of mind at the moment. So sharing becomes very important. So that's it. We're good.
Good.
Good morning, Thelma. Can you hear me?
Yes, good
Okay, all
morning,
right.
everybody.
Good morning. Good to see you. All right. So what I want to do now is get into my show and tell, so that we'll have the opportunity to see those things that are presented and get started. And then I'll go into the session that I had for you today. And Nancy, I want you to know she was the last one last night, because she sent a show and tell about 11:30 p.m. or something.
Yeah.
Look, I get them at all times of night, but it's okay. I mean, you said it. I downloaded in the morning, but I thought it was interesting when she was apologizing. I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, you're still up at 11:30 working on jewelry crafting. But just bear in mind, feel free to send it, and I will make certain. I did have to go in and do some tweaking on sometimes on the photos, because as I share with you guys about the color, so sometimes I have to edit just a little bit, but it's okay. So don't worry about what the time that you send them in, I'll get them, okay? All right. And I want you to know, Mary, that Annie B really beat you to it this time. She was, she was first, but I love this. I love it. I love it.
Oh, yes,
So
Yes.
Annie, you want to talk about your piece?
please.
Well, that is a piece that I made a while back, and I was going through my stash to see can I find something that I can present. So that one right there, I called it, it was a simplicity type necklace. I used 3 different type chain,
Okay.
and I love the Coriana chain that I have, and the very bottom, the
This
chain.
one.
That one, that's a Coriana chain, and
Okay.
I just attached some beads to it, and I made the little drop there with the flower. The flower itself, the very bottom, is very cute. I got a lot of those, but I layer those, and I no longer have those. My granddaughter saw it and she got it. But something so simple and so easy to make it, I think it turned out quite nice.
So it's beautiful. Is this
Mhm.
enamel flower here?
Is it a what now?
Is enamel the metal?
Yes.
Okay, okay, all right. No, it's really beautiful. It
It
really is. Now, I'm assuming that each piece can be worn separately.
Each piece can be worn separately, and then I use a lobster clasp on all 3 of them.
Oh, okay, okay. Excellent,
And
excellent.
they all can be worn individually. And I use the druck beads, and I thought, well, you know, the purple,
Okay,
it's a purplish pinkish color, but it
okay.
really is, it turned out quite nice. I think.
No, it's beautiful. You did a great job. I love it. So I'll give you a hand.
Thank you.
No, it's beautiful. And let's see. I think this is Mary. I have to put the names on to make certain I don't mix them up. Mary, if I'm correct, this is yours, correct?
Yes.
You want to talk about your pieces?
Okay. Like I say, it's my happy place. Been doing making jewelry is a happy place. The one at the first bracelet right there, those are wood beads I had left over, and I didn't know what to do with them, and I so they just can't sit here. So I just put them on some wire and decorated a plastic bead and made it up. Same with this one here. Now the other one, the bracelet in front is
This
I
one?
find myself, yes, ma'am. Sometimes I don't. My wire is not. I don't have enough wire, and that makes me mad. So I still put a change on it to extend it, so I wouldn't lose my wire.
Okay.
But it fits real good. The earrings, okay. The wooden ones I'm wearing today. See.
These.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. I just love doing it. I don't know. And I really love wire for some reason. Maybe I'm just hardcore. I'm sorry, people.
Good you smiling.
Yeah, that's true.
But I enjoy doing it. I mean, like I say, I wear everything.
And that's fine. The
You know,
key thing is you always sound as if you're explaining to someone why you like the things you do. I mean, you don't owe us an explanation. It's fine.
it's peaceful, calming.
Pretty.
Now this is a chain that this piece is on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I tried to do something like different with that to bring it up. And I brought the two pieces of wire up, and I didn't cross them over this time.
Right,
I
that's a double
put a
bale.
coil up through it and try to work it through that, and then put a spacer there to kind of like flatten it. And when I did the what they call it, the veil, it was a double wire to the end. So
Right. She's
something
talking about the
like-
piece that's in here.
Yeah.
This is her double bale, the double wire. But no, you did a great job, Mary. It looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty.
Any questions, comments? Okay, speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, I think this was, I think. Well, this is my AT&T network, ladies. But this is yours also, right, Mary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I love this. This is gorgeous.
That's the one I had a project book. That's I would work on a book that has project, and that's the project. Remember, I was telling you I ordered the beads need to get the beads from Etsy.
Right.
Along with the beads. It's kind of slightly different what they did, but it's basically the same. They're slightly
That's
different.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So did you individually loop all of the dangles that's on here?
Yes.
Good job. Really good job.
You know, I first started doing things like that. I would put a jump ring, but they don't always call for a jump ring. And I think it looks a little better with a jump ring because you don't have it kind of cling together. But sometimes I have to use a jump ring. But here I didn't. I bent
Right.
all the wire, all the head pins. Yeah, the head.
So does everybody understand what she's talking about with the jump rings and not using them?
Mhm.
Okay. Because the jump ring would give you movement. It's not locked in, whereas wrapping the dangle and having it directly on this without having that jump ring kind of keeps it in place.
There.
It's stationary. Okay. Looks good.
Thank you.
Good job as always.
Thank you.
Now, I will show that this is the acceptance class. Okay, this is Miss Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it's
Beautiful.
pearls.
You want to talk about your piece, Nancy?
Yeah, I made this a while back. It made from old piece of jewelry at the
Okay.
bottom here, and then the earrings was separate. There was a wholesale necklace. Now I just broke it up and made this out of it.
Okay, now, so these beads came off another necklace?
The bottom
Yes.
part,
Yes.
the bottom part, that little diamonds like, and the
Uh-huh.
earrings.
You talking about the
earrings.
pendant piece here?
Yeah,
Okay, and these
And
earrings?
the earrings,
Okay,
I just put them together and made a necklace out of it.
Like it.
right,
Wow.
really nice. But you know what I noticed when I first opened this up? Polymer clay pieces and we'll over to the side.
Oh, yeah.
In progress.
Yeah, the colors are fantastic.
Yeah.
That looks really good. Now, in here, this is a chain that's attached? Or-
Yes, it's a change.
Okay, did you use the chain for extension because you didn't have enough beads or
Yes.
just you wanted to have mixed media pieces?
I didn't have enough of pearls, so I used the change to finish it
Okay,
out.
okay,
Mhm.
okay.
I like that.
Very nice.
Thank you. Mhm.
Any questions? Comments? We're all good?
You good. It's beautiful.
Well, let's give everybody a hand. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So before I stop the share screen part, what I want to talk about is, and Pat is not on with us this morning. Let me stop this for a moment because we were talking about earrings and other things, and Pat is relatively new to jewelry making in particular. And the concept came up with her saying that, well, I'm not able to do earrings yet because she needed to, you know, purchase additional supplies in order to make her earrings. And that normally happens if you are a person that requires the ear wires. And by ear wires, I'm talking two things. Most times we're using head pins to make our earrings. And a head pin, of course, is a straight piece of wire that has a blunt head or something on the end, or a stopper, I call it, which really stops your beads from sliding off. So many times when we see someone with earrings, it may be very simplistic, like these earrings I have on are really beads that are on a head pin. And with my flat base, the beads, of course, doesn't slide off. However, there are so many other techniques for making earrings, and it doesn't require that you necessarily go out and purchase something. So what I'm about to show you are some example of some other earrings that I've done, just to give you food for thought. If you don't have supplies, or if you don't have something and you may have an alternate item around, how easy it is to make earrings out of. So let me go back. Do you have any questions before I open up to talk about that? We're
This is
good?
Good. Yeah.
All right. Thelma, you okay?
I'm good.
All right, excellent. All right, let me go back to this. Because I do believe in using what I have around. And let me just open this up for you. Okay. What I have here are some earrings of mine. Let me just put this a little, I can move it about.
You got pins.
These earrings here are made from safety pins, brass safety pins. Now, when I did these earrings, because we were working on what we call, what can you make out of nothing or something? And whatever it is that you had around was the concept for doing this. So I made these brass earrings, and there is another pair of earrings. I need to find them because I had him and her. These pair are known as her. And the reason her is because I added beads to her to dress her up, but him only has the safety pins and no beads. So I just need to find the other pair. But this was a matter of using the brass pins. And we used the pins. People made earrings, they made necklaces, they made bracelets out of them. But it's one of those things where, you know, you can find other things. And these are brass pins, safety pins, that are all attached to this jump ring. And then the ear wires are attached to the jump ring. So doesn't require the typical head pin if you don't have something around.
Right.
These earrings, this pair, was made from resin. And resin is a two-part mixture, epoxy type mixture. When you blend them together, add some colorant to it, you pour it in a mold, let it sit, and it hardens. The thing I like about resin is it's lightweight. I am the person that cannot handle a lot of heavy earrings.
Oh, yeah.
So that weight is always something I'm conscious about. But the neat thing about resin is it's almost weightless. And when you pour resin or mixed resin, is that the thing that happens is it's all clear. So I just use like a colorant and flick it into the resin, and it colors it up, and then I just pour it into a mold and let it sit 24 hours. It's cured, and then you can drill a hole or whatever in it, which is what I did. Add a closure piece and put the ear wire on it. This pair made from buttons. This is mother of pearl buttons that I had. And all I did was ran a straight piece of wire through them, made a loop at the end of the wire, not a head pin, just a straight piece of wire that I had. Attached this bead to the bottom, ran the wire through, made a loop at the other end so I could attach the ear closure. And it came out, and that's how I made the earrings. Once again, Didn't have to go outside and purchase anything. It was something that I had around. Another thing about jewelry crafting is we always have fantastic buttons around. And what I find is most people do not utilize buttons the way they can be used. And that gives you something to think about when you're trying to seek out products and things that you can use in your jewelry crafting. This pair, Annie, you had a comment?
No, I'm not seeing anything. So I think something happened to my computer. I may just log off and come back on.
Okay, all right, I'll be looking.
All right, thank you.
This pair, excuse me, of earrings was made and given to me by a participant. But these earrings were done with needle and thread. However, you don't need to purchase something if you got needle and, I'm talking about beading needle and thread. But these were made and given to me. Another thing that I like to do, Annie,
Yes?
can you see us now?
No, I can't. I may have to just sign out. I don't know.
Let me stop.
No.
sharing.
I got you now.
You just tapped
Oh,
on
you
the
do?
screen.
Okay, all right.
Back up.
All right, the earrings that are down here at the corner, these are, one of the things I would do is whenever I would travel out of the country or something, you know how you always end up with money left? I always took money that I had from trips and I turned them into earrings. And I have loads of coin earrings. But the kicker is you need to remember which country they come from. But sometimes I go back and look at, but this was a thing that I did. And not only can you use it for earrings, but you can drill these coins and use them like in place of other jewelry pieces when you're making a necklace or something like that. But I find it's a great way to remember a trip, because oftentimes we come back, we don't go and do the currency exchange or whatever, and then you have these few coins left. So I take them and I turn them into jewelry pieces. And I love my earrings, my coin earrings. So if you see me with those around, they're real coins. If you are the person that plans to drill a coin, I prefer to use a diamond bit, and I drill half on one side and flip it over and drill it through from the other side so that the points will end up on the inside and you have a smooth hole. Okay. But as I said, it's another one of those things where you really don't have to go outside and buy supplies. Now these earrings, I don't know why it's not out. That one. Okay, the earrings that are here on this corner, my favorites. And I say favorites because all this is a straight piece of gold fill wire. And I took them and took a hammer and flattened the end. Slip a small bead on, and I slipped this one away from the bead. See that tiny little bead that's there? Mm-hmm. See bead? So that the hole is small enough, the flattened end is not going through. So basically what I did was made a headband, more or less. And then I added my beads, and I just took the wire and took a ruler and I bent the wire over the ruler to give me this. Mm-hmm. And I slide them in. And what I like about doing this, you know how you've seen sometimes people have these wire like hoops on, mm-hmm. and you can make them as long as you wanted them to be. But mm-hmm. as I said, it's another way of making a head pin if you want. But I love this type of earring so that, or ear wires, so when I have the 1 or 2 extra beads, just throw them on something like this. And and the thing about it is the thicker your wire, when you hammer the ends, the wider that wire becomes on the end. So I like to use a nylon jaw hammer because when I'm hammering it, it does not scratch my metal or my wire. But these are so easy to make. And as I said, is oftentimes you have this type of supply stuff at home. So I'm stressing to you is trying to use some of the things that you have around already so that if you don't want to spend the extra money to go out and make a purchase of this type, you don't have to be concerned about doing this because you can do this simply by supplies that you already have at home. questions? Yes, Mary.
Because it's bent wire. Look, it might be a little bit sturdy, but what gauge you think that was what you used?
Okay, I know that that was a 20 gauge wire, and that's a good question because here's the thing about wire, particularly if you plan on using a wire to go through your ear and you have pierced ears or something. I would not do anything beyond 20, 21 gauge. I like 20 because it's small enough to go through your hole without enlarging it. It's sturdy enough. Remember the thing about wire, as the numbers go up on the wire, the thinner the wire becomes and the less stable the wire is. So 20, 21 gauge is a good gauge of wire to use if you're planning on working with your earrings.
Yeah.
You don't want to use anything beyond that because the opposite is true. As the numbers go down, the thicker the wire becomes. So if you go into like a 14 gauge wire, trust me, it's going to enlarge the hole in your ear.
Yes.
So that's what I kind of, stick with if I'm doing ear wires or something like that that's stable. And that's one of the things I mentioned in the past about how important it is to become familiar with wire gauges. And that's something I will go into details with you later on just to give you an idea. But you can do so much with wire, and it doesn't, even when we go out and purchase things, I never purchase eye pins and things like that. I just make my own. Oftentimes I don't buy ear wires, I just make my own. Because if you take it apart, all it is a loop at the end of a bent piece of wire. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Really. So that concept of just, I need to purchase this doesn't always work, because I'm not telling you not to spend your funds, but I'm also trying to stress the fact that safety is a big deal. And by being in, we have so many things already around that we can work with. And it's good to try to use those things. Any other questions? And one other things, if I can, I want to show you, there is someone else that comes to class. And what she does is, I can find this. See if I can find it real quick. All right, these are all pieces I'm collecting and saving for our, okay. You see this? This person, I won't tell you who it is, but it's somebody else participating in class. She uses buttons all the time, but she loves these gigantic buttons. And she uses them as decorative pieces in her jewelry crafting because she does a lot of cuffs with beads, leftover beads and wire, but always they have these signature buttons. And I've had people use them as, particularly when you have a really large button, excuse me, and you can decorate or embellish that centerpiece, they become fantastic pieces to use for a pendant. What you need to do is learn how to work with a button, whether it has 2 holes. I prefer working with buttons that have 2 holes through them because it allows me to maneuver my wire through one side and come back through the other side. So then I can add a lot of beads and other embellishment and things to them. But if you have a stash of buttons around, this is a great piece or thing to use in your crafting. And once again, buttons have become really popular. When I stopped doing it, but what I would do is if I was giving something away like Goodwill or whatever, and it had buttons on I really like, I would cut all the buttons off. And Kelly, I see you laughing at me. You know, this is not only true class, this is telling the truth. And I really would cut all the buttons off. One of my sisters was here. She was asking me, what are you doing? I said, I'm cutting the buttons off. So her point was, well, why are you giving something that really is useless or a person has to do work to fix it? And I never thought about it as doing something that wasn't right or whatever, but it's true. So I have stopped doing that. I just never thought about it, but there's something to share with you. So if you're gonna cut all the buttons and stuff off and make it useless, you might as well throw it away rather than donate. But Joann's sells fantastic buttons. I'm not encouraging you to go there, but they really do, because a lot of their buttons come from overseas and from countries that make fantastic clothes, you know, buttons for their sewing. So I like to use buttons a lot when I'm bead weaving something, because it softens the piece. I'm not great at adding a lot of metals to pieces that have been woven using needle and threads, because the metal piece is heavy and it kind of detracts from it. So I like to use a lot of buttons. So that's my lesson for today. Are we good?
A question.
Yes.
What's your take on using memory wire? Do you use a lot memory wire in any of your projects?
I don't simply because I think it's a great thing to use. I see people make fantastic pieces. It's just not a piece of my choice, but you can use it. It's nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. So we're all good. So ladies, we have about a minute left. If you have any questions or anything that I missed, send me an email. If you want to, feel free to join in this afternoon's class at 2 o'clock. And that's all I have for this time. So if you come up with a subject matter that you want me to cover, please send it to me and I will make certain that I get it addressed. Okay? And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Good to see you, Thelma.
Good to see everybody. Thank you.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.